Special good afternoon to Nina and Sam. It's such a pleasure to be here. I always like this hall for one reason, because it has an attached toilet. I've never been to another Toastmasters meeting where there is an attached toilet, where somebody wants to take a bio break, they'll have literally disturb the meeting and go out and come back. Here you can happily sneak in. One of the meetings that I came here, the table topics master was calling out the name of the next volunteer. I don't know how that volunteering happened. He literally called out the name of the next speaker, and I saw the speaker walk out of the bathroom and come and speak, and then go and sit. That was a wonderful timing. I thought I'll share some of my views, some of my recent learnings about why humor is important in our life. Forget humorous contest and all that for a moment. Humor is very important for us in our life, first of all, because the world is so serious these days, so sensitive. And they have so many categories of sensitization. Talk about religion, talk about politics, talk about borders. Everywhere, everybody is very sensitive. You talk something, they completely understand something else, and they make a lot of noise out of it. So it's important for us to bring humor into our lives, make it light. That's exactly what we do in Jokes Apart, which I founded along with Sridhar Ranganathan. We've been talking to a lot of executives in organizations and talking to them about light-hearted leadership. This is the name that we coined. We call it the LHL framework. We use something called creativity, WITTY. This is again trademarked by us, but we'll see if we're lucky enough to get it registered. The reason why I'm talking about creativity is for you to be humorous, you need to be different. For you to be different, you need to be creative. And then you need to add the wit. Sounds very easy, but a bit complex. So where does humor come from? Any idea?
Our lives.
Sorry?
Our lives.
Our lives. Okay.
From tough times. From tough times.
Tough times. Yeah, I really understand. I love that answer. Tough times. I call it pain. Yeah. So humor comes from pain. Any pain that you have been through, no major pain, light pain, like getting beaten by the principal of the school, so things like that. If you look at that, that's where humor comes from. And how does humor come from pain? When you start narrating that pain in a very casual way, the humor comes from that. A couple of years ago, I underwent a heart surgery. It was a complex heart surgery. I was admitted. The surgeon and anesthetist came the previous evening just to check on me, because the next day early morning I'm supposed to be operated. And I saw them discussing right next to my bed. I saw them tell that if there is only a 50-50 chance. I was terrified. I just said, why don't you guys go out and talk? It's not a nice thing to talk about all this right next to a patient. So they figured out, oh my God. So they immediately rushed outside, closed the door, and then started discussing. I was even more terrified. Now I don't know what they're talking. Did they say 50-50 to make me happy, or the reality is 80-20? I really don't know. So I thought I should have asked them to talk right next to me. The next day morning, I was being wheeled into the operation theater. There are two doors, one to go in and one to come out. I was so nervous, because I really don't know what's going to happen. They've already told me that it's a very complex surgery and they've not attempted it in India yet. So all of this was putting me into some kind of trauma that I couldn't explain. But just when they were wheeling me into the operation theater, there was something written on top of the door, strictly one way. The 50-50 was better. And here somebody is declaring it's 100%. Every time I've narrated this incident to my friends, to my colleagues, to Toastmasters, they all laugh. I'm just wondering, why are people laughing? This was the most terrifying experience that I've had in my life. I really don't know how I spent those 15 minutes from that door till the time I was put to sleep by anesthesia. The 15 minutes was the longest period that I ever had in my life. But when I narrate this story, people laugh. Why? Because it is a bit humorous when I narrate it. And I'm narrating it in a very casual environment. Imagine I take you to another environment, probably a bar, like buying drinks, and then I'm sobbing and saying, do you know what they said, 50-50, and the atmosphere is going to be completely different. So this is where I feel humor actually comes from. And now you start thinking of the kind of pain that you've been through, you will understand that humor really works from pain. This morning we had a workshop by my club, 360-degree Toastmasters. It was in a venue in Mylapore. We got the venue free. It's an auditorium, 150-seat auditorium. We were so happy that we got the venue free. So we gave it away free for almost everybody except guests who had to pay a meager 99 rupees. So that's nothing. You get a hall, you get snacks. But the problem was reaching that venue. Somebody told me that I parked my car in a no parking zone and I'm likely to be fined 699 rupees. That's far, far high than what I'm paying you guys. So you better be careful next time. So because you have to pay me money for attending your session. And he told it in a very serious way. And this he told me before the session. I was not happy. So the best thing that I could do was avoid eye contact with him through the session. And it was a 2-hour session. Just to avoid him was so difficult. Because he was very seriously looking at me. Because his mind was there. Is my car safe? Yesterday evening I went to see the venue. Just to ensure that the venue is good. We went around the place 3 times. I couldn't find a parking. And we were going around the temple. Now you ask me anything about the temple, I can tell you. Which is the easiest route to get into the temple, where does the pujari sit. This is what I was seeing throughout. Not a parking lot, but everything around that place we went through. And finally we had to go park the car 3 kilometers away and took an auto to go and see the venue. So this was a pain. And when we tried to narrate this morning, a lot of people in the audience laughed. And apparently they were all parents of students who study in that school because they go through this pain Monday to Friday. So they were laughing at us saying, one day you're cribbing, we go through it almost every day in a week. So it is all about pain. I want this to just get into all of our heads because we have difficulty trying to figure out a proper topic when we want to write a humorous speech contest. The first thing that hits your head is, what do I write about? And if you could think of all the pain that you have been through. Today morning we were asking people, so what are the pain areas that you have been to? The first row, one lady immediately lifted her hand and said marriage. And she had the courage to say that because her husband was sitting right next to her. Poor guy, he felt so embarrassed. And he would have probably thought I should have raised my hand and said marriage, but she did it. And that's the fight probably they're going through today. And then people started adding a whole lot of areas where there is pain. Traffic jam, school admission, anything else you can think of. Somebody said Toastmasters, I don't know why they said that. Maybe pathways. Well, probably that's the reason. Anything else, pain areas? Traffic jam.
Relationships.
Relationships, exact, absolutely. Kids, yes. Parents, okay. Internet? Oh, mental health. Why did I hear is internet? Okay.
Boss and subordinate.
Boss, subordinate, yes.
Money.
Money? Yeah.
Waking up in the morning.
Waking up in the morning. Ask me about it. Sorry?
Going to office.
Going to office. Okay.
Waking up early.
Waking up early. Somebody said that as well. That's a big pain, right? Can you think of one line that can add humor to all these things? Just one line.
Sir, picking a job.
Picking a job, right? Absolutely.
Merely existing.
Sorry?
Merely existing.
Merely existing. Okay. Now it is becoming philosophical. Then next is spiritual. So nice. Merely existing. But any one line that you can immediately think of? Survival. Yes. Very close. But what next? You all have picked up the area of the subject. And what is the goal that you can write about?
Adaptation.
Sorry? Adaptation to any change that's happening around us, so probably.
How do we survey out of that?
How do we?
How do we survey out of that?
How do we survive? Yeah, how do we
Whatever it is
survive?
there.
Absolutely.
No
Yeah.
pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. Yes.
No gain, no humor.
No gain, no humor. Okay. This is becoming mathematical. I'm not that great. Any one line that you can think of around any of these topics that you just said? Sorry?
Life is suffering.
Life is suffering. I'm assuming you're not married yet. Okay.
Any other clue?
You need a clue.
Yeah.
So it's a pain. For example, waking up in the morning. It's a pain for most of us. Right? How many times do you snooze the alarm? 10 times?
Yeah.
Right. So apparently, I heard men have only one alarm. Women have 6, 6:15, 6:30, 6:45, 7. Yes?
4, 5 o'clock, 5:55, 6:15, 6:30, 7:15, 8 o'clock. Till I take my daughter to school for each reminder at each day. Faster.
Okay. And then when do you wake up finally?
My cut-off time for wake up finally 6:15 to 6:30. 6:15 to 6:30.
6:15 to 6:30. Then why 4, 5?
No, time is, it's getting late, faster enough. So all those alarms are going.
You have an alarm that rings at 4 a.m.
Yeah, that is to meditate. Wake up and meditate.
Now this is becoming very complex. Extremely painful.
Yeah, for my husband, not for me.
So there is a 4 a.m. alarm.
So for me to wake up and meditate.
So you wake up and meditate. How do you meditate? You sleep.
No, sleeping is not meditation. Sleeping.
Wow, thanks for that clarity. Okay, how do you literally wake up and sit and
Wake
meditate?
up, sit, observe your breath. That's it.
For how long?
How long you can, how long you can.
Oh, meaning you meditate till 6.
Yeah, it's possible, yeah. Sometimes I do consciously till 6.
So what happens when the alarm rings at 5 a.m.?
So when I'm aware I'm going to meditate, all that will do.
Oh,
Skip
you
for
skip.
today. Skip for today.
Oh, skip for today. You wake up at 4, skip all the alarm.
If I'm clear, yes, I'm going to meditate till 6 o'clock. All the alarm will go.
Very complex routine.
Women are complex. Lina, don't blame me. It's happening right in front of them. The men, they don't care about any alarm.
So 4 o'clock alarm, I switch off and I go to sleep.
You know what? You should come here and I should go and sit there. This is very interesting. We will all build one humorous speech for you today. And we will declare you as a winner also. No more contest in a failure.
I want to ask you something. You said
Remain offline, not now. We have a speaker going now.
Okay.
So don't put me in a fix. Is that what you're telling me? We will finish with her. This is too complex.
Still you have completed me.
No, we all are curious.
Okay, he wants to know if you are awake or not.
Yeah, exactly.
No, if I decide to sleep, I sleep till 6 o'clock.
No meditation.
No,
Skip it.
I should treat myself right for meditation. But I have this habit of keeping alarm, taking alarm.
Tell
When I
me
want to
something.
sleep
Is
more,
meditation good or bad?
it is good.
I don't want to kill myself.
Sometimes my body wants to sleep more because I would have done a hectic day before. So,
Your body speaks to you?
doesn't your body not speak to you?
I don't know.
At least your mind speaks to you, right?
No.
Sleep some more. You need rest.
No.
Which way you think I'm not human?
Really?
When you come in the one which is below human.
Other
I
species.
Not other species. Other kingdom.
By the side of the human or below human?
Below human.
Okay. People who don't speak to your own mind are not human. Shall we
So
agree?
people who does not have a mind, I think either they are
How can
one
you-
level above, enlightened,
Okay.
or one level below, five senses.
Okay. So you wake up at 4, meditate till 6, and once you're clear, you snooze all the. How
No
often?
snooze. Once I'm clear, I skip for the day, off the alarm.
Oh.
Your sign will get, see your
No.
condition.
No, I don't mind. I want to break this, solve this. At least CTM will know me as somebody who solved a big problem in their club.
No, you can't solve.
Huh? I can't solve.
Because women are wired differently than men.
See, you have just guts to say that in front of me. No?
Okay.
But you agree to it, right?
Wired is a different word for weird, spelling for weird.
Wired is
Wired.
wired.
Brains are
But
wired.
she heard it as weird.
No, wired differently.
Wired.
Scientifically proven.
Scientific.
We just take one problem, we solve and we keep it back. But when a woman takes up a problem, she connects the entire universe and tries to find out. You tell a woman that somebody is not well, the first question they ask, is her husband not well or wife not well? What are they doing? But what we do as men is, let's give him a prayer, let him get back to health. Men and women are wired differently. So any amount of breaking down, going to the atom of the problem,
It's not going to solve. We need to understand.
Absolutely. And that's the reason I celebrated my 25th wedding anniversary recently. Simple.
Both of you participating in the game. Because you got your topic right, you got your script right, everything is right.
Actually, we should be speechless, but you became speechless after we started talking.
I'm totally
No, you're
now,
looking at the timer and I'm looking at you.
I'm now starting to meditate. Because I completely forgot what I want to speak next.
My meditation vibration.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What happened to your script that you gave?
No, the script got wiped out. It is completely wiped out. And this is what meditation is and the real meditation is. But if you really look at what both of you were just saying, it is just flowing. And this is an ideal case of a humorous speech contest. Whether we go through the ballot or not, I don't know. Some of the judges might not agree to certain aspects, but it's a classic case. You need to build on the script and let's see how it works. For you, your topic is how I survived 25 years of
because then what I say is, if you're not really adapting to this style of the life, because they are different, we are different, what literally happens practically is, your chapati will turn into a frisbee. It will become hard, and you'll have to eat it. Even if you throw it out, a stray dog also will not come and sniff it. So what you need to do is you have to understand and then adapt, and also be in a position to say yes, everything is fine, and just go about doing your work.
Another 5 years, you're a spiritual leader.
Already.
With the name Ananda.
Ananda, you will add Ananda to it.
No,
I'm telling you, huge business.
I'm looking out for leaders who can start a branch of my ashram elsewhere in Delhi.
Oh, you're already.
He's already on the way. His tagline is common man in search of
Reality.
Yeah.
In search of reality. And this comes after 25 years of wedding.
No, it started earlier.
Oh, brilliant. This is such a beautiful, humorous speech. You should write about it and then speak.
And get it approved by my wife, because she has to go to
Sorry. That will never happen. That will never happen. Don't go for approval for everything. Now you have survived 25 years.
No, because I have to get back home with a trophy. You know, she would ask me, "You won a humorous trophy. What will you speak about?" If I say I spoke about you and my relationship and my family for 25 years.
Why don't you carry the trophy? Keep it here.
No.
See, let the clock say that they got it in the district.
No, hiding something from your wife is a crime. Being open and sharing humorous speech and sharing your relationship is something different. It is a bliss. And that could be one reason where the rate of heart ailments have come down. That's a point for you to note.
I should have spoken to you much earlier. I should have gone through that hard
If you
surgery.
remember, I spoke to you when we met in Cannonball in the year 2019. You were there for a club meeting.
Was
I
it
was
you?
there. It was me.
You looked older than me. Seriously.
Anyway.
Amazing. So, this was quite interesting to hear from you. But this is how it will build. But when I asked you a question as to can you give me one line on a topic, all of us were thinking. We didn't get it immediately. It is like that. You won't get, you will be staring at that topic for a very, very long time. What I want you to do is just allow it to ferment. keep it for fermentation. Because the next day morning when you wake up, something will strike you and go and add that line there. It might not be the humorous line, but it will be something that you couldn't think the previous day. So you can't start a humorous piece script just the previous day of the contest. You need to start probably 6 months earlier. And by the time you go step after step, you will be amazed at the way your brain is thinking. And that is why creativity is very important. And what I mean by creativity is that you need to ask yourself, what can I do differently? Every time ask yourself, what can I do differently? A simple example is, how's the session so far?
Interesting, insightful,
Oh,
humorous.
Wow.
I've never heard that word.
What do you mean?
Oh, okay.
Jocular.
Yeah, so interesting. What else? How's the session?
Above average, below extraordinary.
Okay.
It's not very good.
No, don't go too deep into
That's
it.
good. Above average, below extraordinary is good.
Yeah, I'll get demotivated.
No, it's good.
When you ask such questions, you're immediately letting know the answer, right? That your brain is not thinking, and this is called heuristics. The brain from past experience will collect all these templates and keep it for you so that you can easily use it, not allow the brain to think. The creativity doesn't come here. How are you? Fine. You don't say I'm not fine. Have you ever tried saying I'm not fine?
Yeah.
You're finished. That person will say, come sit. They will become your life coach. How can you say that you're not fine? And these are the 10 things you need to do to be fine. So in order to avoid all that, what do you say? I'm fine. And then keep going. So these are all heuristics. Happy birthday, you say thank you. You don't say same to you. Right? So good morning, probably same to you. These are all heuristics templates. Now if I were to ask this question all over again, and I want you to give me a one-line answer, but you need to include these two words, horrible and pathetic. How's the session so far? You need to give me a one-line answer with words horrible and pathetic.
Ironically, horrible.
The humor is pathetic.
Humor is-
Giving us horrible ideas. So-
Humor is pathetic, it's giving us horrible ideas.
So far so good.
Very nice. You're very compassionate people. You saw that you're taking some time. You know why?
Because you're horrible.
Finally, you are just going and telling your brain, please think. இதுக்கு முன்னாடி கேட்டப்போ, oh, wonderful, exciting, interesting. Where did you get that? Your brain was not thinking. Now you're all thinking, oh my God, I need to construct one line. I need to use 2 negative words and yet sound positive. Poor guy, I can't be brutal. The easiest answer was it's horrible and pathetic. I in fact got that answer from one guy in Bangalore. I didn't know how to react. Again, avoid eye contact. Any one answer? You need to give me a one-line answer. If that one line should have horrible and pathetic in it. How's the session so far?
It's not horrible.
It is not horrible, it's not pathetic. Great. Very simple, straightforward.
It was horrible and pathetic to see such a reaction from people looking at me for 4 a.m., 5:30 and 6 a.m. alarms.
I think you need to go back to meditation. But I like that answer. Anything else? Now this is what you need to do. Take a topic, alarm, what can I do differently? Can I use some negative words to bring that humor inside? Can I try creatively? When you try creatively, there is a wit that actually comes along with it. You will be surprised at the wit that comes along with it. Many times I've tried this and it worked. And also think of that pain that you go through. Alarm is a classic example. When you think of an alarm clock, there are so many things that will hit your mind. Right? I know you're thinking, is there something else I can say? Please don't say. I will get stuck with my script. So that's one. Then the next one is twisting the words, twisting the end part of a sentence. This is called paraprosdokians. There's actually a word for this, paraprosdokians. What it means is you twist the last part of a line. For example, many people, or you can say, do you know why light travels faster than sound? many people look bright before they start talking. Have you heard this?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so this is called paraprostalkians. Where there is a will, I want to be in it. Can you see the change? Like where there is a will, there is a way. And you change the last part to make it different, and that brings humor. And there are quite a lot of things like this. If you Google, you will get so many lines. And if you could think of something on your own, the toughest part is being original. That is the toughest part. You search for jokes, ChatGPT will give you tons of jokes, but that's not what is needed. Where is that originality? And that is important. I have been trying hard for some original content. I don't get that easily. For example, with your alarm clock, meditation, 6:15, all that you will get a hell of a lot of humor. In your case, though it sounds spiritual, you take the spirituality out, I'm sure there are a hell of a lot of jokes, humor that you will get. And how do we actually build humor? Example, setup, pause, and punch. And this is what I learned. Setup, pause, punch. In some places where I go where there is no stage, I ask people, am I audible? I start my speech asking this question, am I audible? Everybody will say, yeah, you're audible. I further build it by asking the last row, if I'm audible. And everybody says, yeah, audible. So then I start to say that this is the biggest worry for any speaker when they come to speak if they're audible. But this is the least of my worries. Am I visible? This is original, and this is self-deprecating. And if you look at, there is a setup, there is a pause, and there is a punch. In many places this has worked. In some places this has not worked, because even today I tried morning, I tried it, and this didn't work because there was a 4 feet tall stage. And I was standing on that stage and asking this question, everybody, oh yeah, that's a joke. So understanding your audience is also very important. This morning, the Guru Prasad, he is another humor king of Toastmasters in Tamil Nadu. We got him to speak. And he was also telling me that the audience, understanding the audience is so important. He was talking about the very first flight journey he had. That is again, you might have a lot of humorous things to add about your first flight journey. Agree? And his speech was about it. And he won the club, he won the area, he won the division, and finally to the district he went to Sri Lanka. And he also had the ticket with him. It looks like a checkbook. Those days the ticket used to look like a checkbook, and he carried that, and he has a sentence which says, I asked for a ticket and they gave me the checkbook. When he went to Sri Lanka, when he was narrating, people didn't laugh. And later somebody came and told him, do you know what, in Sri Lanka we are used to flying. So it's not like first time flying experience. So we are so used to flying, and we don't have something like this. So it failed, and he did not win. So understanding the sensitivities, the regional sensitivities and the audience is so important. That is why if you look at the trend in Toastmasters, in humorous speech contest, what really wins is something that is about Toastmasters. All these speeches really connect with everybody, but you can't go and try this somewhere else. People don't understand Toastmasters, and you go and talk to them about Toastmasters. They really don't understand. But inside Toastmasters, when you're contesting, the easiest thing that you can pick is Toastmasters as a subject. And there are so many things that you can write about Toastmasters. About this hall you can write, about this session. Imagine you writing a minutes of the meeting that has to be funny about today's meeting. You all will have tons of content, especially provided by two of them. You will have enough content to write. The very MOM can be humorous. And today when we were asking the topics for humorous speech, one lady told us that writing a humorous script itself is humorous. And if you think deeply, it can be really funny as to how you tried writing a humorous speech script, and that turned out to be funny, and you coming and narrating that could be a humorous speech. So this is where you need to take that extra step to ask yourself, how can I be different? How can I be creative? And that is where the thinking process will start. And also tell yourself, I want to use negative words. And that is important, because we all have conveniently pushed negative words aside because we don't want to use them. If I have not given you a caveat about using pathetic and horrible, you will never use that to say as a feedback for some session. Unless it is really pathetic and horrible, you will write it was pathetic and horrible. Otherwise, you will never use such negative words. And negative words will give you an edge over others. And I've had this experience many times in my professional journey. I'm using negative words. We have always been able to stand out from the crowd. I'm not talking about a humorous point of view. In fact, the real sales point of view. And there were people who were coming to us because we used a negative word. And this has worked, and that's the only reason why I'm just insisting. So one is pain. You definitely need to come up with pain after the zeroing on the topic. And the next one is how can I twist words? And the third one is how can self-deprecating anyway, you can figure out how it is. But self-deprecating, I'm not getting into it. Some of us don't get it, some of us get it. So just avoid that. And finally, the paraprosdokians that I was talking about. And if you can put these three together itself, you will definitely get the humor. There are 71 types of genre in humor, and these are the three I've just narrated. There are many other that you can Google. And the best part for today's age is ChatGPT. I'm not advising that you should do ChatGPT to construct your entire script, but you can always give a prompt in such a way that it will kind of refine your script. Don't ask ChatGPT, give me a speech that is applicable for Toastmasters humorous speech contest in Chennai at DTM where Nina is the judge. It will exactly give it. You go study what kind of a person Nina is, how many people are there, and it will tell you, oh, this is how you need to construct so that Judge Nina will be impressed. ChatGPT is that intelligent. It is about the prompt that you give. But I'm advising not to do that. Write a script. Take ChatGPT's help to fine-tune it a bit. But don't get ChatGPT to give you the humor. It can only direct you to a certain level and then take that and move forward. Because we are not here to win contests. We are here to win our life outside Toastmasters. You need to win at home. You need to win at your professional setup. And that is what really helps. And that's what I've been trying. So thank you so much for your time and thank you.
Thank you, DTM Jayan Narayanan. Wonderful and very huge.